It's hard for me to even really know exactly where to begin when it comes to my whole journey of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding for a year was my original goal, and I met that, and I feel like reflecting on it now, I can finally share with you guys what this whole crazy experience has been like. Honestly, you hear all of these horror stories. People who couldn't produce enough milk, people who couldn't produce milk at all, and people who said it was horribly painful and they had to quit. It's almost like when you first start approaching this inevitability of the trying, it seems like all the cards are already stacked against you. What is the actual percentage of women who can successfully breastfeed? It seems like not a lot. But I have to say, if it gives you guys any little bit of hope, for me, it actually came pretty easily. And I know that's not everybody's story, and I will say as a caveat before I get into all of this, I am not speaking for everyone, and I know everyone's experience is completely different and unique, so this is just speaking from my own experience. It's not like everything was perfect. I'll get into a lot of the difficulties of breastfeeding a little bit later, but I do want to say, at the end of the day, it's so important for us to share these stories so that we don't go into motherhood with fear. And that's my number one thing that I want to let you guys know from the beginning. Don't be afraid. Okay. I'm the kind of person where my boobs have never been that important to me. I've always been really small-chested, and so the whole idea of having a baby attached to your body like that and feeding from you, I just didn't really understand how that maternal instinct can even kick in. It seemed very awkward to me, and I mean, it's a very private part of your body that you're supposed to just be sharing with another human being that you've never met before. Literally, up until I gave birth, I did not have any of that instinct. So breastfeeding for me just seemed like this big, weird, mysterious connection. I mean, I knew I wanted to try it. I just kind of went into it like, well, I hope I can do this, and I hope I don't hate it, but let's hope for the best. When Arya came out, the first thing that they did is they laid her right on my chest and tried to get me to breastfeed her. Here is this tiny, tiny little human being with a tiny mouth that you just met for the first time. You're flooded with all of these hormones and emotions, and thankfully, it felt like the most natural thing in the world to just have her against me, and she just naturally started sucking. I know latching is probably one of the most difficult things with breastfeeding for most women. I think a lot of it has to do with anatomy. If you just have a more nipply, how do I say it? It's so funny. It's so awkward. Truthfully, I think that if you just have a certain kind of nipple shape, it makes it easier for the baby to latch. It's also the shape of the baby's mouth and the shape of the mom's nipple. And if those two things are kind of working together and don't have anatomical problems, then you can actually breastfeed without it being painful at all. I'm just imagining a piranha-like experience where there are sharp teeth just latched onto you with like a suction cup. That's kind of what I imagined breastfeeding to be like. But it was actually very, very natural. In a weird way, it felt almost comforting because there are those maternal instincts that kick in. There are those hormones just all throughout your body saying, this is right. And this is a calming experience. I believe when you breastfeed, it actually releases those feel-good hormones that make you physically happy to do it. So in that way, I will start off with saying I actually really enjoyed breastfeeding. I found it to be a very, very emotionally rewarding experience, a very connecting experience. With starting off with it being very happy, things started a little bit rocky. Basically, when you first have a baby, the first milk that comes in isn't actually real milk. It's just colostrum, which is like, if you imagine sort of the texture of honey, it's like a thick, serum-y liquid that kind of comes out of your breast before your milk officially comes in. So whether you give birth vaginally, C-section, whatever it is, it takes a little bit of time for your milk to come in. And that can come in on the first day. It can come in a week later. It's a big question mark. But I feel like with hospitals, at least US hospitals, there's this big pressure that your boobs should just be bursting with milk as soon as the baby leaves your body. You have all these crazy hormones going through you, and everything is focused on trying to help this little brand new baby survive. And it's the scariest thing in the world, not knowing if you're feeding your baby enough. So for me, 3 days after I gave birth, we had Arya's first pediatrician visit. So at that stage, most babies lose weight. But if the baby loses 10 or more % of their body weight, then they say, hey, your milk isn't coming in fast enough, you're not feeding your baby enough, you should probably supplement with formula. Thinking about it now, I think that is the appropriate advice. Thinking about it then, I felt like I was a failure. When they weighed my baby, she had lost 11% of her weight. And all you can think about as a new mom is, for these last 3 days, I've been starving my baby. Are you serious? Like, I thought I was feeding her the entire time. She's been attached to me. She's been trying to have this colostrum. I see the colostrum coming out. They told me the tummies are this little. They don't need to have milk when they first come out. In the beginning, you really are breastfeeding around the clock. The baby is attached to you, maybe only not eating for 30 minutes at a time before the next round of breastfeeding, because it goes in a cycle. You're supposed to feed them every 2 hours, but if they're eating for an hour and a half, you're only getting a 30-minute break before they start eating again. And I was doing that. I was not getting sleep. I was feeding her around the clock. And I really had this ambitious goal in mind that I only wanted to exclusively breastfeed her. I didn't want to supplement with formula if at all possible. Right then and there, 3 days in, and you're a failure. You didn't make enough milk. I went home that night and I was just crying so much because I thought there was something wrong with me, and I didn't get a chance. I was barely out of the hospital, and just because my milk isn't here right now, is my baby going to not be healthy? Like, is this gonna stunt their growth? Finally, I was like, you know what? My baby's hungry. She's trying to eat all the time. I can see she's hungry. So we made a bottle of formula for her, and to my delight and to my heartbreak, she gobbled it down in about 5 seconds. It felt like she just downed an entire bottle, more than she had ever drank of anything in her life. Well, thank goodness I fed my baby, because obviously she was hungry and obviously I wasn't giving her enough to eat. But then about 5 minutes later, to my horror, she just puked it all up. Just vomited all of that milk up. And then it made me feel even more horrible, because I was like, well, is the formula bad? Is it hurting her tummy? And then it just started at square one of me blaming myself for every attempt I tried to make, for every attempt that failed. And I kind of felt like I didn't know what to do. They don't say, oh, well, this formula, you should try this one instead of that one. Or like, maybe it's normal for the milk not to come in, so don't worry. My latch with her was perfect. I even saw a lactation consultant, and they were like, you're the only person that came in today without a difficulty. You get 10 out of 10 gold star. You have all of these contradictory things saying you're doing it the right way, but then why are you not making enough milk? Thankfully, finally, at the end of that 3rd day, after that pediatrician appointment, my milk finally actually came in. From that point on, things did end up getting a lot easier. Like I said, Arya had a really good latch, and it wasn't painful for me. She started gaining her weight back really quickly after that point. But I think a lot of the biggest things that I had from a takeaway of that first experience was I put too much pressure on myself, and if I have to supplement, it's not my fault, and it's not anything that I did wrong. It just takes different times for milk to come in. And then second of all, I feel like there's this sense of just needing to trust that your body knows what it's doing. I felt like there was something wrong, but when I look back, the timeline was totally normal. If she goes 3 days with colostrum, she's still getting enough nutrition she needs. And she's not dying. She's not starving. It's okay that I tried to give her the formula and she puked it back up. She's totally fine. She does not remember that instance. Only me. I wish I could go back and say, like, everything's gonna be fine. Just trust your body. So I wanted to kind of share the whole day-to-day experience of what breastfeeding is even like. You have to get into a routine. It's a cycle. In the beginning, it's just furious, like I said, like all the time. Every 2 hours, you're feeding them, other than when they might sleep. and then you get like a micro break, and then as soon as they wake up, you're just feeding them around the clock again. It does slow down as their bellies get a little bit bigger. They can eat a little bit more at a time. Starting about a month in or so, we did the easy routine, which is eat, awake time, sleep, you time. I found that from a website. If I can find that, I'll link that down below. This sets it up so that you can get the baby in a habit where they're not just feeding to sleep. This is something that will help establish the baby's sleeping habits for like a long road in the future of being a good sleeping baby, which that'll be another video all unto itself. If you guys want to know about Aria's whole sleep routine and sleep experience, let me know that down in the comments. In terms of breastfeeding, especially in the beginning, it's really good to get in a cycle where you feed them when they wake up so that they are nice and full and they have lots of energy to play, and then the playing makes them tired, and then you find other things to help them go to sleep that isn't just falling asleep on your breast. I will say, at the very beginning, literally that's all we did. We just fed her to sleep, especially when it came to nighttime. But eventually, the goal was to migrate her to being able to sleep and settle herself to sleep on her own. That means feeding her on my body or pumping. For me, I hated pumping. I still hate pumping. It's so many parts to clean, and it's just kind of this really frustrating feeling of having this machine attached to your body, which is trying to mimic a baby eating, but it feels more like you're a dairy cow. And you have to sort of like trick your brain to even be able to produce that kind of milk. Like, I would record videos of Aria crying because that makes your body want to make more milk, and it's just this really horrible process of seeing how much milk goes into the bags and feeling like you're achieving something more the more milk is in the bags, or feeling like you're failing if there's less milk in the bags. And I feel like it shouldn't be that way. You should just be like, okay, well, this is what it is this time, and that's just fine. But I definitely recommend a balance of both. Sometimes it is important for you to leave the house for an hour and not feel like everything is a burden on your own shoulders if you need to leave and do something. One more thing I did want to mention is my experience with mastitis. So mastitis is something I totally didn't even know about until I went on my own breastfeeding journey. And it's basically when you get a clogged milk duct that then gets infected. And for me, that comes on as a hard lump in the breast that feels very, very painful. So the first time this happened to me, I was actually out eating lunch and I started feeling really, really cold, like just getting all of these cold shivers. I was zipping my jacket up and just, I had this painful breast and I kept trying to massage it and it wasn't helping at all. Literally an hour later, by the time I got home, I was having just like full body shivers. I didn't really know how to recognize that that was the onset of mastitis. But if I knew now what I knew then, I would have probably just gone to the hospital and tried to get a prescription for some antibiotics to help with the infection because I didn't know it got worse. They say you need to do whatever you can to sort of pull that out of your body. I will say there is no pump that is going to be the same as something actually sucking the milk out. My breast pump, heaven help it, I tried and it was just still painful and did not get unclogged. I'm referring to my breast pump right here in the corner. But what I mean to say is that if you happen to have that situation arise where you get the cold shivers, when you get a fever, don't just immediately take Tylenol and have your fever go down and try to tough through it and act like everything's okay. If you do start to get signs of an infection, I would try to go to the hospital right away because it can progress really seriously. Actually, just a couple months ago, my sister had to go to the hospital because she went a whole weekend where the mastitis got worse and worse and worse and the infection was just really bad, and it turned into sepsis, which is a very dangerous level of infection. So she had to be in the hospital for a couple of days. It was very, very scary, and because I personally knew how painful it was even to be in a stage before that, not to scare you guys off of it, but there is a risk involved if you're not proactive about knowing the signs coming up. Something that I was super curious about before, like all the boob changes. Like, oh, are my boobs gonna get bigger? To what size? When they go back down, are they gonna go back to normal? Are they gonna be super saggy? Like, what happens when your milk comes in? Holy crap, my boobs got to like porn star level big. I thought that when people get really big breast implants, that was just an altered version of reality, like it was just unnatural. No, 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 no. When people get breast implants, they are just mimicking your boobs when your milk first comes in, because that is literally how it looks. They're high and full and rock hard, and when you move, they don't bounce or anything. They are chock full of milk, and it's really crazy. To a certain extent, I felt like it was kind of hilarious to see myself with that on my body. This is kind of a crazy process, and I still look 7 months pregnant because I just had a baby. But my boobs look great, for a very short period of time. It's like, well, might as well just enjoy how they look while they're that big. When Arya started incorporating a little bit of more solids into her meals, starting like 6-7 months, then they got a little bit smaller. So they were probably like B, C. 10 months is when I really started tapering down a lot, significantly, of the breastfeeding. So I would still be breastfeeding her every day, but maybe it was just in the morning and at night. When your body is just producing a lot less milk as you're going, your boobs start to shrink back. And for me, that was a really happy experience because I feel a lot more bodily freedom of movement, not like leaking everywhere. Oh man, all the products involved with breastfeeding. That will be a whole other video, including, pads to absorb all of the milk that might leak. I think one of my biggest questions was like, will my boobs be like forever ruined? I mean, that's the honest fear. Are my boobs going to be ruined? Were they changed? Yes. Were they ruined? No. I think I've made such a peace with it. I can look at my breasts as they are now, and I still love myself, and I still love my body. I think it's an amazing thing what my breasts could accomplish, and that they were able to grow so large and produce this milk and shrinks back so much. Even then, at the very end, having my small boobs again, it is still a rewarding thing because of how I choose to think about it. I will say with my nipples, I feel like, they are a little bit more extended than they used to be. If I'm going to be completely honest, right? We're being honest. This is a TMI thing, I'm just going to say it. My nipple shape did change a little bit because I fed my baby for a year. And I just have to say, for any amounts of time that I used to be self-conscious about aspects of my breasts before having a baby, I just look back and I think, like, gosh, you were so ignorant. Like, why were you even worried about petty little things like that? I fed my baby. I'm super proud of my body. And any changes that come along with it, I'm just kind of accepting that that's a part of the sword and shield I'm wearing of being a strong woman and making it this far. That also goes for, here's another bullet point, my body changes. A lot of people ask about like, oh, how did you lose all that weight? And my whole answer is like, gosh, I breastfed a lot. I breastfed and it burns a bazillion calories. In fact, for the first 3 or 4 months, literally every time she ate, it feels like a battery draining. Like I would just immediately fall asleep because it's so exhausting. It takes so much energy and so many calories pulled right out of your body to feed your baby. And along with that, your appetite is actually insanity. You get so hungry because not only are you feeding yourself, you're feeding a growing baby, and not just growing baby inside your body, a growing baby outside of your body that's much larger. I ate a lot more. I was thirsty all the time. My skin got super dried out. Just everything that you might imagine goes along with producing large quantities of actual milk from your body. Man, everything gets dry. My skin has never been dry like this, but my skin type completely changed after having a baby. And now it's going back more to a normal stage versus being overly dried out. And then finally, I wanted to talk about the weaning process. You have to be very careful in the way that you wean to be extremely gradual so you don't overload your breasts, because it's supply and demand. Your body will literally produce milk to compensate for what the baby needs at that moment, which is amazing. Once your baby starts sleeping through the night, your breast will stop making as much milk during the night. So you just kind of have to be flexible and really be conscious all the time of how much milk is sitting in your breast. Because again, going back to the mastitis thing, you don't want to have the same milk sitting inside your body for too long without having it come out. But then you don't want to keep pulling the milk out all the time because your body's going to think that the baby needs to eat all the time and you're going to overproduce milk. And if you overproduce, there's a higher chance that you'll get clogged. So I probably started weaning her from eating every single few hours down to just, 4 times a day, down to 3 times a day, down to 2 times a day. And then finally for the last month or so when I was about 11 months in, I just went down to a morning feeding. And then when I hit my year mark, it was just kind of astounding to me, like, oh, I actually made my goal. And then at that point, it was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to quit. I really just wanted to treasure those last moments with her where she's still that close to my body and she's still my little baby that needs me like that. But I also couldn't wait to have my freedom back, to be able to just take whatever medicines I need to take and get whatever treatments I want to do and just really have the freedom to go where I want to go and do what I want to do again, because she can just eat normal food like a little human being. It's such a bittersweet thing. Oh, one last thing I did want to mention. I said that your body actually releases sort of like happy hormones when you breastfeed every single time. When you're regularly breastfeeding, your body also kind of gets used to those hormones. So when you wean, some people actually get sort of like post breastfeeding depression. This is something that I really don't think I've heard a lot of people talk about, but I think it's very real and something that I experienced a bit of too. I definitely had some sadness and mood swings while I was in the weaning process, where you just inevitably you feel like the blame is everything else and not the weaning. But if you're conscious of the fact that you're having a shift in hormones during that whole breastfeeding, weaning process, then you can just forgive yourself a little bit more. You can just say, well, I'm not just a psychopath. I'm weaning. When I'm not weaning anymore, I'm not going to feel as crazy. So in the end, yes, breastfeeding is an enormous sacrifice on so many levels. It's hard, but I'm gonna be the same one. I roll my eyes out and say, you know what, it actually is worth it. I really loved the process. I loved feeding her, and I don't have any regrets about how things happened in the past. I want to definitely try to breastfeed again in the future, and whether that happens or doesn't happen, I'm not gonna try to beat myself up too much about it. But with how things did happen, I'm really kind of glad I did it this far. I know that was a lot to sit through, so if you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to see any of my other motherhood, life, beauty videos, and hit notifications if you want to see them when the videos come out. Please let me know down in the comments what your breastfeeding story was like. I'm so glad I could share this with you guys, and I would love to hear your stories as well. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being with me through all of these crazy life journeys. You don't know how much it means to me. Stay tuned next week for more Mom Timber. This is Jenna, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.